how's it going again, everybody? Well, it's time to install this here on Eugene the Jeep. Hope you guys doing okay out there. I'm going to install this hitch on Eugene the Jeep. And it's a reason why I'm installing this here. So at the end of this video, I'll show you guys why I'm installing this hitch as well as the receiver, because there is a plan for this here. So let's get started. So what I'm doing here, I'm going to install this hitch on Eugene the Jeep. Just because I'm at a campground right now where I don't have full hookup. When I mention about full hookup, it's because you don't have either sewer, you don't have water, or you don't have electricity. Either one of those three, sewer, water, or electricity, you don't have full hookup. I'm at a campground right now where I don't have sewer, so I have to go every other, maybe 4 days, I figure, to dump out the tanks out of TIMROVER. In this installation, it should be pretty straightforward. I have my sockets here. I'll be using a 3/4 inch socket that I'm thinking. I have my impact sockets right here, and I have my right hand impact wrench that I'll be using. And I have my paint pen. I like to use paint pens, and my gloves, and an extra battery. This should be a straightforward project, and I'm looking forward to getting this done. I've been wanting to get this done for a little while now, but so let's get started with this installation. To get started here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark my spots where the 2 screws I'm going to remove or loosen. It's going to be this one, so I'll mark it right here with my paint pen. And then I'll mark it right here because I'm going to remove this one here per the instructions. And I'm going to remove this bolt right here. These are going to be installed back on the hitch once I remove the screws, and I'm going to remove this, what kind of loosen L bracket right here that they call it. So I'll remove these 2 bolts here, plus loosen this here up, and then these 2 screws right here. I'll go ahead and remove my bolt here with my 3/4 inch impact socket. Might be kind of tight to get this in here, and I'll go and loosen this here up a little bit. Make sure that everything is in this muffler right here. It's not hot because you don't want to burn yourself. So I'll go ahead and loosen that one like so. I can hand tighten that a bit. So we'll do the other side as well. It's kind of a tight squeeze here, but you'll make it. And I'll loosen that up a little bit. There we go. You want to make sure that you keep this here bolt, because you're going to need this here bolt for this section right here. And there's a couple other bolts I'm going to show you in a bit that we'll be needing. So these 2 bolts here, these galvanized bolts, make sure you keep these here because you're going to be using these here again. Because if you try to use the other bolts, it's going to strip those threads, and you don't want to do that. So we'll take that off. So I used the 3/4 inch impact sockets on the outer bolts like I have here, and then I'm going to use the 11/16 socket on the ones that I marked with the paint pen on the driver and passenger side. And you're taking these here, you're going to loosen these here because you're going to have this L bracket to be kind of loose, because you're going to slide your hitch between the L brackets. And then once we get this on, you might have to, it depends on your Jeep, but the Jeep JL, it comes off. It's a fairly new Jeep, so everything is kind of, you know, not all rusted on yet, so it's kind of cool. So I'll just loosen this here L bracket. You can see this little gap right here. Just want to have enough gap here. You can see where my little finger is, where I can squeeze the hitch around this bar here. And then we'll be using the 2 screws that I showed you earlier, plus 2 other additional screws for the receiver. I have the 4 screws, or the 4 holes here for the 4 screws. Kind of heavy. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 2 outer holes here is going to be used for the galvanized bolt, just to hold it in. I'm going to put it right between the L-shaped brackets right here. I started with the galvanized bolt on the driver's side, and I got this here started. So I'll put that in with the bolt here, and what I'll do, I'll take my screwdriver. You can use any old screwdriver just to pry it a little bit to get it going in there, and I'll do the other side as well, just to get that started. Give it a little punch there, and that's cool. So now what I'm going to do is take my other galvanized bolt on the passenger side and screw those in, and we can get those all squared away. We're going to put this one here back. So we'll go ahead and screw this, get this here started. And then once I get it started, and the bolt that is on the original L bracket, get that started like so. And what I'll do, I'll tighten that down before we go to the next step. I want to really get these bolts in here first before I bolt and everything down. There was another piece on this Tiger Auto hitch. Well, there's this little bracket right here that you can use to secure your wiring harness. I'm not for sure I'm going to use that or not, but what I'll do, I'll go ahead and put that in. You know, just to be on the safe side. I might use it down the road, or want to install the wiring harness for Eugene the Jeep. So in any case, that belongs in this little section right here. So I'll get that going, get that started. Just unloosen the screw. You can omit this here if you want to, but you never know, down the road you might end up losing that little bracket right there, and I'd rather just go ahead and put it on right now and get it out the way and be done with it. The Tiger hitch came with these bolts right here. Have a lock washer and a regular washer, so I have my lock washer one first, and it's a standard washer. So we'll go ahead and feed that through. Those are the inner connectors. I can't use the impact wrench because it won't fit, because it's pretty tight up in here. So just gonna get much as I can started, and we'll get this going. Not bad at all. I kind of like it already. Here is basically 11 millimeter, yes, 11 millimeter, and get that all nice and tightened down. Make sure I got my socket in the right position. There we go. Looks great. So far, not bad. You can try this for your Jeep JL, and they have them for the different other Jeeps as well, but in my case I'm using it for the JL. I think we should be all cool with this here. I'm not going to tighten it too far down just because it's plastic and I don't want to break the plastic, so I'll do the other side. So it looks great. So this is how the hitch should look. You have your hitch right here for the receiver. You have your 2 connectors here if you're towing something here. And of course, if I decide to put the wiring harness in down the road. I have that bracket right here already installed. I'm going to remove the receiver lock because I purchased this here with a lock, but if not, you can get your own lock separate, which you don't want this to walk away. So basically just put that in like so. It's a receiver. It's a 3/4 inch drop and holds a pretty good amount of tongue weight. Get that nice and tight, remove the key. That should be on nice and tight. Cool. Lock that in. That's not going to go anywhere. Now that I got the receiver ball and the hitch installed and all that good stuff, this is great. Now I want to show you guys why I was going to install this receiver ball and hitch, because this is a place I mentioned earlier that doesn't have full hookup. This container that I'll be using is going to be for my waste tank, because at this campground that I'm in right now, they don't have a waste facility at the campground actually where I'm located. So I have to go and kind of pack up TIMROVER and drive to the dump station that's not too far and dump it out and come back and unpack everything like the slides out. That can be kind of daunting. So I'm going to use this here waste container, and I'll put a link in the description below that you guys can get this here. Maybe I'll do another video down the road on what I'm doing with this waste container. It's not too bad. It's not bad as you would think, but I'll show you guys in a better light how to dump your waste tank out without thinking about the things that come out of that tank. Maybe I'll show you that in another video. With this waste container, you have this little gadget right here. And then basically that goes on to this container, kind of locks in like that, and that connects to the ball of the hitch right here. This way, once you are going to dump your tank out, you don't have to unpack everything and lock everything up and drive to a dump station if it's not too far from where you're camping, and use this here as a reservoir for your container. And this here is basically the 28 gallon. I think it's a 30 gallon, something like that in TIMROVER, but I won't be using 28 gallons of waste like that unless I had company or family or friends over, but this should be sufficient for me. I just wanted to show you guys how to install the hitch and the receiver. I'll do another video on how to use the waste tank, and basically just a few tools, like I have my right angle and then I have my socket set. This here from Tiger Auto comes with a cap if you don't want to use your receiver, where if you don't have one installed, you can just use this cap. I'll take this out of the little pack here. And they have a little cap that has Tiger on it, not too bad. But this wasn't a bad project. I kind of like it. It wasn't hard to install. It wasn't, I mean, straightforward. Follow the instructions by Tiger Auto. They also give you the detailed instructions right here. Of course, a warranty card and simple tools like the right angle wrench here. It's great. What I'm going to do is show you guys another video on the dumping the waste tank using this Chemco unit right here. It's not too bad. So do me a favor, give me a thumbs up if you like, hit the subscribe button below, and I'll bring you other tips, tricks, ideas, also cooking that's coming to the channel. You guys take care of yourself, be good to yourself. See you next time. Bye.